I think the idea of romanticizing the mundane is a concept that's becoming more and more appealing to me, and I feel like it's something that would be quite beneficial to us if we can implement it in our lives. Most of our life isn't made out of really high highs or really low lows. Those are just sprinkled in between. Most of our lives are made out of mundane moments, getting out of bed, making the bed, making coffee, going to work, going to the grocery store, running errands, those kinds of stuff. And I think it would make us a lot more fulfilled in our lives if we can find a way to romanticize those kinds of things. We don't want to be on the hedonic treadmill of always finding the next big or bigger and more exciting thing. I think it's quite dangerous if we go down that path because eventually we're going to hit a wall and we're not going to be able to cope with that. I like to start my mornings kind of slow. I don't like to be rushed in the morning. I don't think a lot of people like to be rushed in the morning anyways. I like to take my time to do my morning routine. I find that having a morning routine is quite important in my life. It lays the foundation for my day, whether that be on a weekend or a weekday. And after finishing the routine, it kind of feels like a small victory. Starting off my day with a small victory like that gives me the motivation to take on the rest of my day. I don't want to sound like those alpha male wake up at 4 a.m., do a morning routine, cold plunge kind of stuff, but I think having a daily morning routine habit gives you a structure to your day and a boost in the morning that would be quite helpful. Going to the gym is quite an essential, mundane activity for me. I've been going for almost 2 years, so it's really not that exciting at all, actually, to go to the gym. In fact, it's quite a drag. I kind of have to force myself out of bed. But it helps clear my mind. More than the physical aspect of it, I'm surprised on how a physical activity can help your mental health too. As you can see in the video, the crushing weight on my legs helps push out the crushing weight of the world's expectations. I'm kidding, of course, but the mind clearing thing is quite real, and I think a lot of you who have a weekly physical practice, whether that may be yoga or Pilates, can attest to that too. And I think the fact that it's mundane builds discipline too. Like motivation and interest is really non-renewable. Motivation fizzles out, and once that happens, all you have left is discipline. We tend to take these things for granted, like going to the grocery store. It can be seen as a chore, it's quite boring, we do it quite often, so it's really nothing special. And even when we're in line, what's the first thing we do? We take out our phones and start scrolling, at least in my case. But taking a moment to be grateful that it's quite a privileged position to be in, where we have groceries imported worldwide at our fingertips, and if we're in a position where we don't have to think so much about how much we're spending on these groceries, that's another thing to be grateful for. Even just meeting friends or a friend or a family member for coffee, right? It feels like something just ordinary, but it's in these kinds of moments that life feels a bit more real. We humans are social creatures, much to the chagrin of my teenage self. Having social interaction is quite important for us to make sure we don't go down a dark path. And nowadays in my life, having actual good and pure, I guess, maybe not pure, but like having genuine, there we go, human connection is what really makes me feel fulfilled in my life, is why I make these videos, right? To connect with people and to hopefully have some impact on people. these aren't grand events, right? Meeting up with a friend for coffee, but they're the kind of moments that makes your life feel a bit more meaningful and fulfilled. When I say romanticizing the mundane, I really just mean finding some pockets in your maybe ordinary daily life that you can feel grateful or thankful for. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a chill one this week. Yeah, take care. Don't stress out too much, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.